Hey YouTube fans, it's me, the Storyman, and welcome back to my latest video. Ooh, today is the last day of July, and it'll be August tomorrow. Looks like it's rainy season for us today in the Philippines. Today I'm reading a story which I made from Chat GPT, which I call The Sunny Breakfast. So remember folks, like my video, subscribe to my channel, and please leave a comment down in the comment section below. Okay, and also share this channel so everyone knows about my channel, so people can hear me read stories made by the Chat GPT, which are super weird but they're fun to read, and I'll give it as much life as possible. Remember, the story may be made by Chat GPT, but the voice acting, dramatic flair, are done by a real life human being, for which I call myself the Storyman. The storytelling, narration, adlibbing, done by me, a human, a real human, 100% me. Let's begin, shall we? A woman named Mara had 3 unusual qualities. She always skipped breakfast, she had terrible depth perception, and she had once sneezed so hard she actually frightened gravity for 3 seconds. Ah yes, it turns out Mara isn't just an ordinary woman. She has the ability to warp reality without knowing it. She was born immune with the reality power. She just doesn't realize it yet. She thinks she's like any other person. No one knows. They thought it was just written off as, something happened. I guess that's super weird, but it can't be just that woman, so yeah. That's why I mentioned they'll say that. No one thought much of these facts until the Tuesday she accidentally ate the sun. Oh yes. She actually ate it. And that's how the story starts. It happened at dawn. Mary climbed a hill carrying a cup of coffee and a buttered croissant. She yawned. I guess. Looked toward the horizon just as the sun peeked over it. Unfortunately, she also hiccup. The hiccup was spectacular. Reality briefly mistook the sun for a particularly shiny orange. Before anyone, not even the sun, could object. The sun disappeared. Mara blinked. That wasn't the croissant. That's what she said. I think you realized it's gone. The sun had vanished. The world noticed immediately. Darkness slammed across the planet. Boom! Like that. Birds screamed, stripped as they all screamed helplessly. There was no sunlight. Roosters quit their jobs. There was no point. Solar panels collectively became decorative furniture. And every astronomer simultaneously experienced what professionals call the worst Tuesday imaginable. I can imagine all of a sudden a regular day and boom! Sun is gone. How the heck would they call that? They just call it simple because they don't want to make it too dramatic. So they'll call it like that as it is. Yeah. To make sure they don't want to cause panic, but then again, people are panic. Can you imagine the sun gone? Permanent darkness everywhere. Inside Mara's stomach, something warm burnt. She let out a tiny puff. She let out a tiny puff of sunlight. And she said, uh-oh. She began to realize she had eaten the sun and it's in her stomach. She better figure out how to she has to learn how to barf it up before she digests it. And she better do it fast. At first, the apocalypse was merely inconvenient. Really? How can you say it's convenient if there's no sunlight? Can you imagine the biosphere collapsing instantly? I can imagine how horrible that would be. People stumbled across with flashlights. Plants looked offended. Cats, delighted by eternal night, formed tiny governments. Oh man, I can imagine how they do that. Then again, Japan has those cats doing, they're called cat meetings. I wonder what they do there. Then things became significantly worse, of course. Without the sun, Earth's orbit began to wobble. But for a point though, without the sun keeping it stable, the gravity started acting weird. The oceans developed mood swings. The moon admitted it had no idea what it was doing without supervision. Fair point though. Without the sun, the moon has no light for it to reflect. It's permanently dark. The moon reflects some of the sun's light at night, like a moon. Just some of it, not all of it. Meanwhile, Mara had become quite literally the brightest person alive. Every time she laughed, laser beams shot from her ears. I wonder to light up the eyes like Superman. That could be kind of cool though. Imagine that. Out of the light. Funny. Imagine everything is dark and Mara's like literally the brightest person alive. light radiating out off her, and no one noticed at first. When she got embarrassed, she caused auroras over 6 continents. Her stomach growled in solar flares. Oh Lord, I can imagine how painful that would be to digest the sun. Unfortunately, the governments realized they had found her. She has the sun in her stomach, and they did this. Governments begged her to spit the sun back out. Scientists built enormous anti-vomit medicines. Won't you need to make her puke out the sun? Magicians tried reverse digestion. Nothing more. Fair point though. The governments were desperate. They found that the person has the sun in their stomach, and they had to make her puke it out fast. Nothing worked. The sun at the birth decided liked it in there. Uh-oh. It says it's cozy there. Mara explained after listening carefully to her abdomen. You can talk to it. No, it just has strong opinions. She realized that the sun is sentient and it has no intention of leaving Mara's stomach. It found it comfortable. Uh-oh. This was bad. Not only the sun's alive, it has no intention of leaving. This could be bad. They need the sunlight fast. Without the sun, Earth's biosphere will collapse. Light will be dark. People will have time walking at night. Birds will be panicked. There's no sunlight. How would they fly out in total darkness? They need to figure out a solution fast. They need to fix the situation. So governments desperately create multiple plans on how to make and convince the sun to come out of Mara's stomach. After several weeks, the apocalypse became bizarre. How bizarre? This is how it starts. Mountains started floating because gravity missed having sunlight. Whales learned to fly out despite. Oh wow, it is bizarre indeed. The concept of Tuesday escaped into the wilderness. Fair point though. People will wake up, check their calendars, discover it had become large soup. Bizarre indeed. Looks like ever since Mara's reality warping had damaged reality, now everything's acting weird and bizarre. Oh boy. And she has the sun in her stomach. What you gonna do with that? No one understood. Everyone agreed this was probably related. Of course. And the woman there is realizing, oh Lord, what have I done? I need to think of a way to get the sun out of my stomach fast before anything else goes wrong. Finally, the world's greatest experts gathered. Physicists, witches, and dentists. Witches can figure out how to get the supernatural. I don't know with dentists, but I can imagine how to spit out the sun that could burn your mouth off. It's gonna be hard, and her dental work is gonna be insane. 3 raccoons who claim to be consultants. I guess reality has warped so much even animals have become sentient. Apparently without the sun, it had an inferior side effect. Animals are becoming more human, thinking even raccoons have become smart with their hands. They could be. But unfortunately, this was the solution. This is what they said. After 72 hours, they reached a conclusion. And it's in 4 words. We have no idea. That's it. That's their answer. We have no idea. Oh Lord, I can imagine how weird that would be. The raccoons received honorary degrees. Mara grew desperate, trying to desperately get the sun out of her stomach fast. She didn't think of a solution. She said, "I'm sorry," she shouted toward her stomach, trying to get the sun to apologize. But he said this, I didn't mean to eat you. A tiny voice echoed inside. It said, I know. And Mara was shocked. Like this. You can talk? You can actually talk? The sun said in a calm voice. I've always been able to. Indeed, that's what it said. I've been always able to. Why didn't you say anything? What do I do? You're in my stomach. Can you imagine how weird that is? I need to get out of me now. The world's acting so weird. Animals are talking. Birds are screaming. The sun is gone. There's no light. Gravity's acting off. Please come back. That's what it said. And it wondered, why didn't you say anything? Unfortunately, he said this. You seem busy panicking. Fair point though, he said this. Fair enough. Fair point though, she was too panicked to be heard or listened to. And she asked the question that she wanted to ask. So, how do I get you out? The sun thought for a moment like this. He's thinking of the solution. And then, this is his answer. The sun for a moment in this. I'll leave if you make me laugh. Seriously? That was his answer. That was his exchange. Oh boy. And this is why. I've been burning for 4.5 billion years. That's all I do. I could use a good joke. At least that, and that's it. That's all I ask. Give me that, I'll leave. After the governments heard the son's answer, they all unanimously agreed to get the best comedians they can get. The greatest comedians on earth failed. Of course, they screw up. Knock-knock jokes, stand-up routines, political satire, banana peels, nothing. The son politely applauded like this, but remained firmly inside Mara. Entire civilizations teetered on collapse. Humanity had only one chance left. They had to think fast. Though the son at least applauded their effort, but it had no intention of leaving. It needs something that truly make it laugh, and they had to think fast. Mara wandered aimlessly until she found an abandoned laundromat. There, she saw a goose. Yes, goose. The goose was wearing one roller skate. Not two, just one. I can imagine how cute that is, a little roller skate. Yeah, nice. It was aggressively chasing a tumbleweed that somehow barked like a dog. The tumbleweed, that little weed that moves in the desert and it barks like a dog. Oh man, reality's acting weird now. Looks like without the sun, it's causing all this weird stuff. Mara stared. The goose slipped. The tumbleweed barked. The roller skate flew into a vending machine. The vending machine produced a perfectly folded tuxedo for a squirrel. Oh wow. The squirrel put it on. Wow. And began conducting an invisible orchestra composed entirely of confused moths. I can imagine reality is so weird out, even Mara doesn't know what to do. Mara laughed so hard she couldn't breathe. All that? Oh wow. I can imagine how he would laugh. Her stomach laughed too. Mara realized this was it. Then, not the sun laughed. Another chuckle, and a giggle. A cosmic nuclear wheezing laugh that echoed across the entire universe. Stars in distant galaxies snorted. Black holes forgot to be ominous. They were just, ooh. The sound was so powerful that the sun shot out of Mara's mouth like a champagne cork. It flew back in the sky. The sun had returned. It found it so weird. It laughed so hard. The sun just couldn't comprehend. It just laughed because it was so weird. Man, imagine seeing that. They would laugh because it was so absurd. It flew back in the sky. Paused. Cough light. Then settled to its proper place as if nothing unusual had happened. Light returned. Flowers opened. Gravity remembered its responsibilities. The oceans apologized. Tuesdays wandered back, pretending it hadn't run away. Whew. Wow. Such a weird way to do it, but I guess the world was saved. Weird way, but hey, better than nothing. The apocalypse was over. The people cheered. Yay! Scientists asked Mark exactly how she saved existence. She told them the truth, which was the weirdest thing. And here it is. This is considered the weirdest sentence ever. A goose in one roller skate accidentally hired a squirrel to conduct invisible moths. There it is. The weirdest sentence in this story. That's it. That is super. All summed up in one weird sentence, which summed up it so perfectly. They just stared. They just they're just stunned. They cannot believe that was the weirdest they ever heard. They just like this. That's what they look like. Can you explain the physics? No. The magic? No. The symbolism? There isn't any. What symbolism is that? It just happened. That's it. What symbolism is there from that? So that's what really happened? She said it with a straight face. Yes. After a long silence, the head scientist sighed. I hate that this is somehow the most convincing explanation we've heard. Dear God, this is what he did. Lord, if you're hearing that, oh, you could have a headache. Someone so logical, and this has become an absurd way. God, you can feel like the scientists are just banging their heads. Think like, what? My God, I don't know. Oh God. You could like, oh God, this is what they'll do. Good God. This is what they do, yes. Good God. Really? God. After all my scientific career, I've never heard something absurd be so convincing. Good Lord. To this day, the sun rises every morning. Occasionally, just before dawn, people swear they heard faint laughter rolling across the sky. It's still laughing though it's faint, but I guess the sun is still laughing after what he had seen. After the sun remembers the world's strangest joke. Oh yes, so strange. And every laundromat keeps one tiny tuxedo in its lost and found. Just in case the squirrel ever comes back for an encore. And that's the story. And that's the story I call the Sunny Breakfast. So thank you for watching my video. This is the Bookman signing out. That was considered the weirdest stories I ever read. Whew. Man, Chat GPT makes sometimes weird stories which find me to make me laugh. He always makes such weird and funny stories. No, it's weird, but weird way. So thank you for watching my video. Like again, I'm signing out. But remember folks, like my video, subscribe to my channel, and please leave a comment down in the comment section below. Remember, hit that like button to like the video down there. Subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel by hitting the bell down there, down under the video to subscribe to me to get daily updates from me and my videos. Comment down in the comment section below, down there, on what kind of story you want me to make, and I will make it with the Chat GPT. And I'll give it as much voice as possible. I'll do it for free. Any request, and I will do it. And I'll give it as much life as I can. Any story you want me to make, I will make it and give it as much life as I can with my acting and my reactive face and my hand motions. If you do all that, this thumb will reach to the end with a thumbs up. Remember, like, comment, subscribe equals a thumbs up from me to you. Remember, the story may be made by Chat GPT, but the voice acting, dramatic flair, storytelling, narration, and ad-libbing are all done by a live human being, real human being, which you're looking at, which I call myself the Storyman. Thank you and goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Bye.